Right. So make sure that in your folder you have these documents, especially the company file, which is halfway updated or halfway completed with the account list. And you don't need tax code, we have completed that. Account to delete, we have completed that. But you need to have the same accounts list of the of our company to make sure the account list is edited according to this. Yeah, I have highlighted the edited accounts. Let's open the company file format. අතුස්සන්න බලන්න තාම double click කරලා company file එක open කරන්න try කරන්න. Hands up those who are trying to double click on the company file and trying to open it. You can't. You can't do it. When you're opening the company file, you have to open the software first. And from the software, there's a button called open. And through that, you have to find the company file. That is how you open it. That is the first day lesson. Mama you can't forget the first previous day's lesson when you're coming to the next year. This is like medical studies. You can't forget the brain when you are learning the heart. Right? Then once you become a doctor, you should know both heart, brain, hands, legs, everything you should know. You can't be forgetting the first year stuff when you are going to the final year. Okay? All right? Okay, so we stopped at the expenses as I remember, right? So let me open my company file. Open the software. Through that, I open my company file. Right, if it's the right company file, you should see 83 days remaining when you're opening. Continue. Okay. Right. So in the company file, we were working with the accounts list, right? So in the accounts command center, in the accounts list, we actually modified the other expenses, other income, cost of sales, as I remember, and even the income, right? So we were in the expenses category. Expenses category. So let's finish that off. Under expenses category, we have modified a few accounts and I hope you can remember the technique we used to modify this account. The account location can be changed based on the account number. You have to try your best to modify existing accounts rather than deleting and creating new accounts. And also when you can't move one account from one location to another location because of a duplication. Now, for example, you can't have two accounts with the same number. Account number is identical. So when you want to change the account number of one account, then if the same account number exists, what you are going to do? That is the problem, right? So in that case, you have to give a slightly different number and move to that location, right? Then later, after modification of the rest of the accounts, you can go back and modify that number, right? Now, for example, let's say you have an account called 1005. You are supposed to convert this as 2005. But there is an already existing account as 2005. Then you can't change it. You can't change the number. Then instead of 2005, you are slightly modifying it as 2006. Then it will go near that place. Right? Then 2005 account will be modified later. Right? Then the replication error will be gone. Right? When it is sorted out, you can re-modify the account number accordingly. Make a chest එකක්. If it is not vacant, then you keep it in a similar closed location. And when it is moved, then you count that one. Right? So it's like a test case. You have to understand it. If in some accounts the name will be much lengthy. In some accounts the name will be lengthy. So Right now, Mama is right now, I hope you're coming in. Right. Now, listen. Now, what I mean, when you are modifying this account list, we have to always follow the common as well understand our rules, the rules we are following. Right? When you are trying to modify a particular account, and that account has a name, right? I told you, while you are able to modify the account rather than deleting and creating new account. Rather than converting digital accounts as general accounts, right? It is a general account. It is created two accounts for general accounts. Because general accounts are just nominal accounts. They don't do anything. They are just used for categorization. If there is an existing general account, then it needs to be converted as another general account. Just change the name. right? If you are converting a detailed account as a header account, there's a risk that you are eliminating a link, you are removing a link, and then you are modifying it as a header. That is the problem. Short form में पता है not what may other mic that tree to have a pin. After security kicking in the card, the battery just one floor is that contest. Right? Battery in a kind of put a discuss. I will try to raise my voice and increase the volume. So, when you are modifying some header account, as I told you, try your best to modify header accounts to header account, not to convert detail accounts as header account, right? And also, there is a limitation of number of words, as one of your friends highlighted. There is a limitation of the number of characters you can include in a particular feature. In that case, you can shorten the name of the account, but make sure the meaning is there. You can search and find that with that meaning, right? You can shorten that. Now in the depreciation accounts, they have already shortened the name, the DEP and something they have converted. So like that, when you have a lengthy names, you have to make it shorter and include it. So those are the basic stuff. When you are dealing with the linked accounts, you have to be careful. In case if you want to remove the link, go to the link account, and from the function you can disable the function, right? Like we did last week. You can disable the function. If you can't disable the function, there's another option. You can link it to another account. You can link that to another account, right? Then again, then your original account will be released from that problem, but later you have to rectify that errors. Anyway, before starting any other function, we will be modifying or checking all the links, right? Therefore, it won't be a problem. For the moment, make sure your account is interface is according to your required list, right? So we'll maintain that standard. Right. I think we are here. Right now, in the case of depreciation and amortization, when I created the header account, under that there are a number of accounts, right? Detail accounts. They are in the same level. So I want to change their level. So I use this up and down buttons to change their level, just to show they are coming under this depreciation and amortization broad category. So I select each and every account and I click on the down button. Bring them to the down level or next level. ටික එක අයින් කරන්න නැති එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ wages නේ. මම අර දැන් ඉස්සලා කිව්වේ ඒකයි. Wages now for example, listen, many of you are experiencing the problem of removing the link of the wages and salaries account. Many cases. I hope you all are experiencing that. My question is, why are you changing the wages and salaries account? Because that is a required account in our list. And the same account is there. So why are we changing it? We'll keep it. When something required is already there, we should not change it. Right? We'll just keep it as it is. If there's a number change, we can change that. But the link is very strong because that is needed. Right? If you seriously want to change it, what you can do is you go to the function, give another account as the link account. Remove current bag function, but you give another account as the linked account, then this account will be free. But my question is, why are we freeing it and deleting it when it is needed? But keep it. But it's like the bank account, check account. Check account we don't want to change because it's needed. Okay. So try your best to keep the existing accounts. We are just doing a very small modification. Now, for example, under wages and employment expenses, if you take first account 5,105 fringe benefits tax, there's nothing to change, right? It's already there. The required account is the same. And if you take the staff amenities, that is also the same account number, and what we want is also the same, right? If you take 5,120 superannuation, that should be converted as the EPF expense, right? So there you don't have to change the number, it's just a change of the name, right? And then wages and salaries. If you take wages and salaries account is 5,130. Here also it's 5,130. There's nothing to change, right? There's nothing to change in wages and salaries account, not even in the link, right? Nothing to change in the link, nothing to change in the name or account number. Okay, just keep it as it is. Then 5,140 is workers' compensation. Then 5,150 is other employment expenses. Nothing to change, right? The last few accounts. Okay. So the expenses. Right now, once you complete the expenses category, we have completed the accounts modification relevant for the profit and loss. Right? Those are the accounts that represent the profit and loss, income account and expense account. So we had multiple categories. We had income, we had expenses, we had cost of sales, and other expenses and other income. We had 5 categories for that. And these are basically the subcategories coming in the profit and loss account. Okay. Now we are moving to the balance sheet related accounts. Right? Balance sheet related account. Again, we will start with the easy ones. What are the easy ones? There's nothing called easy. There's the equity. Equity is the easiest category coming under the balance sheet, right? So we will start with that equity category. So header is the same. It is 3-1000 is shareholders equity. Just the name has to be changed. Instead of owners equity, you have to change as the shareholders equity. Shall we modify that? Shall we keep on modifying? Come on, shall we keep on modifying rather than talking? You are modifying the account. Okay. Keep on modifying. The equity category, it doesn't take much time, right? It's a very simple an easy category. You can modify things. After modifying the equity category, you can start with the liability category. Like it's a next convenient. Even if you start with that, that's not a problem. But depending on is having a number of data from the right after modifying the equity category, you can start with liabilities. Good liabilities, you have brought two categories, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. 2100 should be, sorry, 2-1000 should be non-current liabilities. Now there you have a bank loan account called at the number of 2100. You have to change it as 1100. Just a matter of changing the first number. Now technically what we are doing here is moving the location from the lower to the upper. Right? 2000s we are converting as 1000s. So it will go up as a bulk. Right? That's what we are doing here. When you are trying to convert the other non-current liabilities, right? Other non-current liabilities with the account number, that account number is not permitted because there is an account called account for 1200. So we have to go and find what is that account for 2100, right? To the sorry, 1200, 2-1200 is the trade creditors, right? The trade creditors, now we will go and see where the trade creditors account should go, right? Do we have, yeah, here we have the trade creditors account. Again, its number is 2200. Again, we can't change the trade creditors number or the other non-current liabilities. Then you have to use that technique I told you. Enter a slightly different number and keep that a near location, change that account to a near location, and then later restructure. I'll tell you how to do that, right? Now see, trade creditors is here. I can't change this non-current liabilities number to 1200. Then what I'm doing is instead of 1200, I'm typing it as 1201. Right? Okay, I need a slightly different number. Then I enter that. So I'm permitted to enter that number. Okay. So I can see it goes to the right place. I mean near the right location. And then I convert the trade creditors to the previous location, the other location, right? Trade, look at the trade creditors number. It should be 2200. Right? It has to be 2200. Then I take trade creditors and then I convert that as 2200. Okay. Then 2200 number is also vacant. Therefore, I enter that. Then that is moved to the bottom. And even this 1200 number is now vacant. Right? 1200 number was initially allocated to trade creditors. Now that number is vacant. The number is changed. Right? Therefore, I reopen this and convert this as 1200. Okay. Right? Did you understand that technique? It's a very small thing, right? Then you change. Okay. Under liabilities, you have to create one new account for EPF payables, right? For EPF payables, there's no any suitable account to modify. Therefore, better to create a new account. That is the only account I'm going to create. If you correctly modified the liabilities list, it should appear like this. That's the integral of it. Okay. Did you all have modified the liabilities category? Did we? Always follow that rule, not to delete and create accounts. Try to modify suitable accounts as much as possible. Okay. For example, if you take bank accounts, don't ever delete the bank account. You are given a check account, so you can directly convert the check account into Sampan Bank current account. You are given the payroll account, so you can directly convert the payroll account into Sampan Bank payroll account. So like that, try to convert accounts as much as possible into similar accounts, right? Then you will have to create very few new accounts and delete very few accounts. When you have lengthy account names, you better shorten them, but without losing the meaning. For example, office furniture and equipment at cost, right? So here I have shortened it like office furniture. I have stopped at the letter T and equipped at cost. So it gives the meaning. For the ground equipment category, you have to create the entire category new, right? You can't find a similar category, right? And the on current assets. Right, then when it comes to the current assets, it's just changing the numbers, right? Just changing the numbers, and there are three current accounts. One is the current Sampath Bank current account, the other is the investment account, and the other is the payroll account, three bank accounts, right? When you are modifying them, just you have to change the number and the name, right? You should not delete and create new accounts. You have all the three accounts in different names. You have clearly check clearing account for something. You have convert that as Sampath Bank current account. You have payroll account. You have convert that as the Sampath Bank payroll account, and you have investment account. You have to convert that as the Sampath Bank investment account. Then links will not be affected, and the rest of the assets, including inventory, the cash drawer, petty cash, undeposited funds, all this will be accordingly added. Now, current assets are arranged in the liquidity preference, right? Usually that is how we arrange the current assets according to the liquidity preference. The less liquid assets come first and more liquid assets come later. For example, if you take inventory current assets starting with inventory, that means we have physical objects which are not sold. It is less liquid. Right? But when it is sold and when it becomes paid debtors, just a matter of collecting them. Then it is more liquid than inventory. Right? Then after collecting them, if we have any prepaid insurance or whatever it is, immediately we can realize it. When we go to the next month, we can realize it automatically. So that is more liquid. And then you come to cash on it, which is current account balance. You can immediately go and change it with the change, right? So it's more liquid. The most liquid funds are the cash in hand, petty cash, and the money you have in your pocket. That is the most liquid, and even the electronic payments. A single week you can transdermal. Right? Those are the most liquidity preference. We modified the entire account list. You all can take a small break of 15 minutes, and then we will record our first journal entry, and there are some reports to generate and all, right? So I'll show you the mark your attendance and you all can mark your attendance. Right, you all can take a break and come in 15 minutes. Current lecture కూడా తీసుకున్నాను. investment account bank account something links of home take account take account
ලින්ක් එක පස්සේ හදනවා. ලින්ක්ස් හදන්න පුළුවන්. අර හදන්න ඕනේ නැහැ අරක තිබුණා. ඔල්රෙඩි ලින්ක්ස් ටික තියෙනවා. දැන් ඔය හදන්න ගියාම එතන වෙන account එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට change කරන්න වෙනවා investment account එක. දැන් අරකම change කරපු අයට already ඒක select වෙලා පෙන්නනවා. ආයෙ change කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. make sure කරන්න ඔය bank දැන් assets කිව්වම other assets එකක තියෙනනේ categories. ඒකෙන් bank account කියන එක select කරන්න. investment account එක හදනකොට.
Sir, library library.
Okay, we'll start again. Now, anyway. Right. So now we have a designed or well corrected account list to start our transaction recording or accounting operation. Okay. So if you go to the different tabs under the accounts list, you can see your asset accounts category is properly modified according to the order from the non-current assets to the current assets, right? If you go to liabilities, you can see it's properly arranged from the non-current liabilities to current liabilities in the right order. Okay. And in the equity, income, cost of sales, all the accounts categories are properly arranged according to our preference. Now our task is to, for an accountant, the account list is the Bible. So we have that. Now we are going to record transactions, right? We just started the business. We modified our account list. We modified our tax codes. Now everything, the default values are set properly. What is the first entry usually the business will keep when they are starting the business? Capital. Any other? What will be the first transaction a business would record in their journal ledger? Capital, good. That answer is right. It's the capital introduced to the business by its owners, right? Without the capital, maybe it's the equity capital, maybe it's the debt capital, whatever it is. Without giving or without pumping some money or without giving some capital to a business, you can't start it, right? So let's close this window of account list. Now we are going to enter our first journal entry. For that, I want you to refer to the document I have uploaded in the LMS under week number 4. That is the formation of journal entry. That is the document I want you to open. Right. So here you can see the formation journal entry of this business. Because according to the instructions we were given, this business has started its operations on 1st of April 2023. Right. There you can see some double entry details given to enter a double entry. Sampath Bank check account should be debited by 1.5 million. If you can remember, we had a small story about this 1.5 million. This 1.5 million was taken as a loan by the owners, two owners, by mortgaging their own properties. All right. So we thought initially it looked like taking a bank loan by the organization. Then we realized
That is a personal loan taken by those two owners, and they have pumped that money to the business, right? So that is actually the money brought in by the owners, right? That is the 1.5 million we talked about. And then they have brought furniture for the office, right? Furniture for the office, and cupboard for the storeroom, water filter for the office, and classroom equipment for office. Number of assets have been introduced, and the credit entry, the total credit value goes to the shareholder, right? That means the shareholders, the two shareholders, they have brought all this money, equipments, and all the other assets in as their initial investment. Okay. Now, when the owners are bringing in capital, what is the now when we are entering a transaction, right? We have a process in account, right? First, we have the source document. For any transaction, we have to have a source document. Based on the source document, we record that in the prime entry book. We call that maybe journals, right? Prime entry books are the journals. Once we total up some of those prime entry books, we take those totals to what? To the what? After entering in prime entry books, to the ledger, right? To the ledger account, we record that. After recording them in the ledger accounts, what is the next step? Yeah. After totaling the ledger accounts, we take the balance carried forward and brought forward. With those balances, what we prepare? Financial statements. Any other answer? Any other answers from that side? After taking the closing balances of the ledger accounts, what we prepare?
The trial balance.
Yeah. Trial balance. Trial balance, right? After preparing the trial balance, why are you preparing the trial balance? To see whether the arithmetically the transactions are accurate, right? And based on the trial balance, then we are doing one activity before preparing the final adjustments, right? We do adjustments like depreciation, maybe stock losses, like that. You in your advanced level you had a lot of adjustments we do to the trial balance, right? After modifying all these adjustments, then we are preparing the financial statements, the five elements of the statements, including the notes, right? Income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, changes in equity, and the notes. Right? That is the accounting process. That is not my OB, right? That is accounting. That is the accounting process. Now, I have a transaction. The first transaction of the business, owner bringing in equity. It is in the form of cash. Other assets, different. What is the prime entry book? We are going to record this here. What is the prime entry book? For different transactions, we have different prime entry books, right? We have purchase journal. We are recording only credit purchases for each year. Yeah. Here. Yeah. I didn't hear properly. Here you have money and other stuff. And equity brought. Which journal? General journal. In one answer is general journal. Any other? Any other answers? No. Any answer is cash book? Cash book is also a journal. It's doing a dual purpose. Any other? No, right? General journal. What is the definition of general journal? What type of transactions are we recording in general journal?
Other than sales.
Easiest definition in your advanced level education, right? Anything that cannot be recorded in other journals. You are recording in general journal, right? So this is the right journal for this, because the reason is you can't use the cash book because there are other assets that are not cash, right? You can't use any other journal because it's a mix of assets and investment. Therefore, we are using the general journal to record this transaction. Okay. Now in MyOB, if you are writing it down in your notes, we are recording the first journal entry, or we call it the formation journal entry. Right? We are going to form the company or start the company with equity, right? The formation journal entry. So in MyOB, according to formation journal entry, the path you have to write down. If you are writing down, right? Then path is accounts command center. Accounts command center. Record journal entry function, right? Record journal entry function. That is the link, or that is the function to open the general journal. In MyOB, if you want to enter any general journal entry, you go to the record journal entry function. That is under the accounts command center, right? The accounts command center. Let's click on the record journal entry. Then here you are getting a form that has a number of fields to fill. First one is general journal number, right? The sequential number. This is the first transaction. Therefore, the number is automatically set to 1. Right? So if you have a different coding system or numbering system, you can enter that. Then sequentially it will update, right? But here we will keep that as 001. Then the most important field to fill is the date, right? When you are filling the date, there are a few things to remember. Date should be, number one, the date should be accurate. The accurate date you should enter. It's not today's date. Now it is automatically set to today's date, 2026, June 21st, right? But our case is running in 2023. Therefore, you have to set the right date. Otherwise, your transactions and financial statements will be completely wrong or different, right? You are recording transactions on different dates, right? Number one, it should be accurate. And number two, the format of the date format. Date entry format, there's no specific format for date entry. It is depending on how your computer's operating system date is displayed. Now, for example, in my computer, here I can see month first, then the date, and then the year, right? Month of June or 6th is the month, then 21st is the date, then the year. In the same format, you have to enter the date in MyOB. If in your computer the date format is different, then you have to enter that. Right? අපි කියමු ඔයාලගේ තියෙන්නේ මුලින්ම 21st. ඊළඟට month of 6th month. Then 2026 කියන. එහෙනම් ඒ format එකෙන් තමයි enter කරන්නේ. Right? You understand? You have to exactly refer to the computer's operating system date format. Right? So here I am entering, because this is the first journal entry happened on 1st of April 2023. So I am entering that date here, April 1st, 2023. That is my date format. If you enter a wrong date format, you will not be allowed to go to the next tab, jump to the next tab. Use the tab key in your keyboard when you are moving from one field to another. Use the tab key in your keyboard. Right? Okay, you entered the date in the right format. April 1st, 2023. And there's something called a memo. Right? What is this memo? Can you remember when you were writing the general journal entries in your manual accounting? After writing the double entries, within brackets you were writing something. What is that? Narration. Narration. You are writing the narration. Why do you write the narration? It's not a part of accounting. It is part of the referencing. I mean, anyone who is coming later to see what is this transaction, they should have a guidance of what this transaction is. Because different transactions are recorded in the general journal. Right? Therefore, you should have a clear reference what this transaction is. Therefore, that narration is this memo. Okay? This memo, that is the narration. let's type the narration formation journal entry. Formation journal. Formation journal entry. Right? Right? Then in this the next step is to enter the account details, right? So you have a table that has account number, the name of the account, and a debit column and a credit column. These are the basic columns you had even in your manual account, right? You had account name, date maybe, date now we have inserted, and name and the debit and credit column. Apart from that, you have a few more additional fields like job, memo, tax code, right? If you are selecting an account, what is the link or relevant tax code that will appear automatically? And if there's a specific memo you have to type in front of each account, right? For each account, if you have any specific detail you have to disclose, you can write that under the memo column, right? And also, this account number column is appearing when you are searching accounts with the account name, account number, right? When you are searching accounts using account number, this account number column appears. Now, I'm going to make a small adjustment to your preference. Okay, being in the same window, shall we go to the setup here, setup tab? Okay, setting the preference. If you are writing down notes properly, write down what we are going to do is setting the preferences to select accounts. Setting the preferences to select accounts, because now we are supposed to select accounts. What accounts to be included here? We can set some preferences. Okay. The process is you go to setup tab, right here, setup tab and preferences. Under the setup tab, preferences. So this is a secondary activity, okay? While entering the journal entry, because this is the first journal entry, while setting up the preferences, we will be entering it. Go to preferences, and then there are a number of preferences tabs. There we will go to the Windows preferences, right? Go to the Windows preferences, okay? Right? Then out of these preferences, I want you all to select 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth preference, right? Fourth preference, select and display account name. Now we will come from the first. First preference is to do display to-do list when sharing when starting my OB. We don't want to see that, right? Therefore, we are not selecting it. If we select it, it will show us a lengthy to-do list. We don't want that at the moment. Then number 2, save window size and locations. We don't want to save, modify the sizes and all. We are using the standard format. Therefore, we are not selecting it. Number 3, show currency symbol in Windows. We need to have the currency symbol, maybe it's dollar, maybe rupee, whatever it is. The currency symbol we want to see in our window. So we keep that tick. That means that is selected. Look at number 4. Select and display account name, not account number, right? So I want you to select that preference. The reason is you can easily remember the account name, but it's very difficult to remember all the account numbers. 1-2352, 1-2567, like that you can't remember that numbers, right? So when you're searching the accounts, very difficult to search with the number, but it's easier to search from Sampath Bank account. You can remember Sampath Bank, remember, right? Trade debtors, you can remember. You can even guess it's the trade debtors. Okay, so it's easier to search with account name rather than account number. Therefore, we'll tick that. Okay. Next preference, select items by item name. Again, you will remember the item name, right? it's difficult to remember the item codes. All right. So if it's let's say in this cricket bats, let's say you can easily remember cricket bats when someone is asking for cricket bats, but the code for cricket bats may be little difficult to remember. Therefore, we will pick that as the select item by item name. Right. The next preference is select card by card ID, not by not card name. So that is written in the opposite way. Do you understand that? That is written in the opposite way. So if we think that we are going to search the card by card ID, not the card name. Card means the customer card, supplier cards, employees, people. We are dealing, right? Therefore, we are not selecting it because we can again remember their names, right? We can't remember their codes. We can remember their names easily. Therefore, we are not selecting it because that preference is given in the opposite side, negative form. Okay, so we are not selecting it, and then use easy fill when selecting from a list. We will keep that. That means when you type halfway, it will automatically fill. Like message forecasting in your texting. Message text predict text prediction. Even when you're typing half of the name of the account, it will automatically fill and show whether this is what you want. Right? So we will keep that preference. Then use expandable data entry fields in window. That means when you are entering in one particular field, fill the other fields that are relevant. I mean, with the similar information, fill the rest of the information with the same entry. So we will keep that as well. And the enter key works just like the tab key when entering some data. When you're entering data, enter key should work as the tab key. As I told you, you have to use the tab key to move from one field to another field. Even the enter key should act the same, right? When you are just an example, when you are going for going to a supermarket, right? At the cashier, you have seen the people who are in the cashier counters, they are pressing so fast that those codes and numbers very fast. Enter key, right? Because the enter key is working time ඔයාලට හිතනවා මෙයා මාර ස්පීඩ් එකකින් ගොඩක් දේවල් enter කරනවා කියලා. ගොඩක් දේවල් enter කරනවා නෙමෙයි අනිත්. දැන් card detail ගත්තොත් ඔයාගේ card details කොහොම enter කරන්නේ නැහැ හරියට එයාලා. එයා entering 1 2 හරි මොකක් හරි පොඩි number එකක් ටක් ගාලා අට පාරක් ගහලා enter key එකේ පුළුවන් වේගෙන් ගහගෙන ගිහින් bill එක අන්තිමට එනවා. ඒ format එකේ. right? ඒක තමයි අපිට හිතෙන්නේ මෙයා මාර fast මේක ඇතුලේ ගොඩක් දේවල් කරා කියලා. ගොඩක් දේවල් නෙමෙයි. Using the enter key so many times බලන්න enter key එකේ හැටි මේ keyboard එකේ අරන් බලනකොට ඒක මෙහෙම වැරෙනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන්. So it has been used so much, right? So here also when you are entering transactions, you now here we will be entering a few transactions in the class, but in the real company there will be a lot of transactions happening. So accounts assistant will have to enter a lot of transactions. Then you can use the enter key. So we will select that, right? So enter key works as the to jump from one field to another field, we are using enter. Then display accountant link code in edit accounts. We are not selecting it because if we select that, for us to select that, we have to have multiple accountants. So it's a different setup. Here we are using as the administrator. We are not going to go into that extent. Therefore, that is not much relevant for this. So these are the references I wanted to fill. Why did I fill these references? Why did I modify these preferences? Because now I want to search accounts in my general entry, right? When I'm searching accounts, I can't remember the codes. I want to search them with the names, right? That is why I set up preferences. Whenever you want to change any of these preferences, you can just come and change. All right, you can just change. Then you can click OK. Right. If you refresh this field now, since I am still on the same window, I have the account number field, account number column. But if you refresh this, I mean, if you close and open this again, this account number field will disappear. So don't worry about it, right? Your account number field will disappear if you close and open this again. But we will keep here. What is the first account? Sampath Bank check account, right? Now we are going to enter our entry, double entry. first entry is Sampath Bank check account. Okay. Now we can comfortably search with the name SAM, right? When I type SAM, it automatically fills the Sampath Bank, and then you can press tab key. Sampath Bank current account, right? Click on Sampath Bank, but you have number of accounts, right? 3 accounts. Make sure it's a Sampath Bank current account. If it's a different account, again you can change it. Okay. After entering the name, you just press the tab key. Then it automatically jumps to the debit column, right? There you have to enter the value. In the debit column, you have to enter the value 1.5 million. Enter 1.5 million. Then press the tab key. Press the tab key, or even you can press the enter key now, right? But when you press the enter key, it will go to the next row. In front of this, if you have to enter any memo, in front of each of these accounts, if you have anything to enter as the memo, you can enter. But when it comes to money, Sampath Bank current account, obviously it's money. You know that, right? There's no much information we have to provide about monetary values, right? And then we'll come to the second line, second row. Second row means you are going to enter another account entry. That is furniture for the office, right? Do we have an account for furniture? Office furniture and equipment or something? Yeah, we had an account called office furniture and equipment, right? Office. When I type office, something came. Let me check whether that is the right account. To check that, you can use the drop down arrow here. Can you see when you type half of it, in front of that, there is a drop down arrow, right? Using the drop down arrow, you can go to the accounts list. You can go to the accounts list and see whether the selected account is the right account. So in that list, you can see the name of the account and the type of the account, right? So it is office furniture and equipment at cost. So that is the right account. Okay. So select that, click on the use account. Click on the use account button, right? Then again, you can press the tab key. So it will go to the debit side of it. Then you can enter 650,000. Right. Now, if you want, right, if you want to enter any memo for this particular entry, you can write a memo, furniture for the office. Now I'm just copying this and entering that as a memo. Furniture for the office. Just for later reference. Right? It's not a part of accounting, it's a part of reference. Right? Furniture for the office. I just entered. Right? Then I go to the next row. Office furniture and equipment account debited by 650,000, and as memo I entered what specifically that is, right? And in the next row, cupboard for the storeroom, right? So cupboard for the storeroom. For storeroom assets, we had a category. Can you remember storeroom equipment or something? We had storeroom equipment account. Shall we search that? So storeroom, right? Storeroom. Then you enter storeroom, it will, right, storeroom equipment at cost. There is an account called storeroom equipment at cost. So you will select that account and click on use account. Right. Then what is the debit value? 450,000. Then again, I can write a memo cupboard for the storeroom. Otherwise, I don't know what storeroom equipment has come here. Right? To specifically mention what type of a storeroom equipment we have bought, I mean the owners have bought here. I'm entering a small memo. Right. Then again, I'm going to the next line. There are water filter for the office. Again, it is office equipment, right? Office furniture equipment that is coming under office furniture equipment. So we will go with another line of office furniture and equipment at cost. The value is 27,000. But in the memo, I am writing specifically what this is. Water filter for the office. Water filter for the office. Account is again office furniture and equipment at cost. Value is debit 27,000. And in the memo, I am entering water filter for the office. Right? And then I'm going to the next line, another row, classroom equipment for the office again, right? Again, it's office equipment, right? Classroom equipment for the office. Again, office furniture and equipment. Value is 150,000. Again, the specific memo is classroom equipment for office, right? So we have entered the debit entry. All right. Did you all enter the debit entries? Yeah. සමහරුගේ account code කියන column එක නැති වෙලා it's okay. I told you. Because we don't want the account code thereafter, we are searching with the account name. My entry has not been refreshed still. When it is refreshed, I will also lose this account number column. Right? There's no meaning of it now. Then we have entered all the debit entries. Okay, we have all the debit entries. Then I am going to the next row to enter the credit entry. Again, I have to enter the account, share capital. So let me, right. When I type SH, it automatically fills share capital, right? Share capital. Then I bring the cursor to the focus to debit column, and then I press the tab key again to jump to the credit column. You can see it's automatically totaled and the total value is added to the credit. The system is designed to somehow balance the entry. Right? Balance the entry, so that makes the double entry accurate. Right? So total is added. You can even mention a memo, but anyway we know by looking at this, you have a lot of debit entries. Owners have brought this. There's nothing to mention there. Right? In the memo, if you want to mention the owner wrote capital or something, you can type it, right? If you don't like to keep any field blank, okay? Then I'm not entering it. So you can see that is about our data entry. That is the data we have to enter about this transaction. Then at the bottom, in the last area or bottom area, you can see total debits. Total debit value is calculated and given. Total credit value is calculated and given, right? And then if there is any tax calculation, here we didn't have any tax calculation. Any tax value is included, that will also be given, but here it's not. And then the last line is out of balance, right? Out of balance means if there is a debit minus credit, if there is a gap between the debit entry value and the credit entry value, it will show you as out of balance amount, right? For you to record the transaction should be balanced, right? Now, I'm just showing you, if you can also do it's okay, but I don't want to mess you up. I mean, if you make a mistake again, that will be fixed up. Now I am purposely changing this number, right? This is 2.777 million. So I am entering 2.7 million. Right? Then you can see the out of balance value. It shows your two entries are out of balance, not balanced, right? Then I'm trying to record this transaction. I'm just showing you what I'm trying to record this transaction, so it does not allow me to record, right? An unbalanced transaction may not be recorded. Why? Then if it is allowed to be recorded, there's no point of having a system. Then you will have erroneous transactions even without the basic arithmetic accuracy, right? Therefore, I'm not allowed to enter that. So Unfortunately, only one time they give the total. Next time I have to calculate and let's see. Ah, no, it gives. Give me the total again. Right. All right. So I just wanted to show you if that is unbalanced, you are not allowed to record. Right. And then there is another option called recap transaction. Write down in your notes. Recap transaction. Before recording the transaction, you can weave the double entry. Right. Before recording a transaction, you can weave the double entry using the recap option. That is Control plus R in your keyboard. Control plus R. Recap a transaction. Recapping a transaction means it means you can weave the double entry before recording it in any transaction. That is the idea. You can write it anyway. Before recording the transaction, you can weave the double entry of that transaction. Because in MyOB, you are not basically entering the double entry. You are filling some forms. Right? But in this case, you can't see that very clearly because this is having the debit and credit columns. But in many other cases, you won't have such nice columns as debit and credit. You will be just feeding some information, right? Filling some forms. And then from the back end, it will create the debit entries and credit entries. So before recording it, it's good to see the double entry of a particular transaction. So let me do that. I am pressing Control and R. I want you to do that. Control and R. Then that will show you nicely the debit total, debit entries and the credit entries. If there is an error, that will also be displayed here. If it is not balanced, you can see that. Okay, that is recap transaction. All here we are going over the quiz online quiz what is recap transaction? Answers right. Right. Then you can click OK and click on the if this out of balance amount is 0, you can click on record button. Record first entry. Right. Click on the record button. First entry recording. Okay. So we recorded our first journal entry of the company. Right. Okay. Then you can see automatically the general journal entry number turned into 2. The first one was 1. So sequentially it is changing now. Now number 2, but date didn't change. The reason is on a particular day you will be entering number of transactions. The date doesn't change like right. Then you can close or cancel this format. Then you can cancel this format. Right. Once you enter any transaction, there is a place where you can weave those transactions. Right. That is the transaction journal. At the bottom, you can see in this diagram or flowchart, transaction journal. Transaction journal is the place where you can weave all the transactions. Okay. Like a log report of your transactions. Right. When you go into the transaction journal, click on the transaction journal. You have to set the date range. You want to sort the transactions from this date to this date, right? So specify the starting date as April 1st, 2023. Date from should be 1st April 2023, right? Technically, it should be the year end date, but even if you take a longer date, it's okay. Even if it's current date, it's okay. Press the tab key. When you press the tab key, you will see one general under the general tab, one transaction. One transaction. Because it's a general journal entry. Then like that, you will have in the future many transactions under disbursements, receipts, sales, all these categories related transactions you will see as listed. Right? When you now we have entered the first transaction. If we want to modify this transaction, right? If we want to modify this transaction, In front of this transaction, there is a small arrow. What is the name we give to this arrow? White zoom arrow. White zoom arrow, right? You can click on that white zoom arrow. Then it will open that particular window of the journal entry, right? Then if you want to modify any of these numbers, you can modify, right? Modify and click OK. All right. Now, technically, is it good to allow a double entry or transaction to be modified? Technically, it is bad, right? It is not good. You should have kept a reversal entry. But you should remember in the preference setting under security preferences, we kept that option open because we are going to learn the software, right? When we are learning, we may make mistakes. Therefore, to keep that room, we have kept that preference open. Transactions are allowed to be modified, not the reversal entries to be, right? So you can modify the transaction and if you want, then click OK. All right. That is the part. And then you can look at the document. We are going to record another transaction where we are going to transfer money, right? We are going to record another transaction. We are going to transfer money from one account to another, right? Usually, when you are transferring money from one account to another, what is the journal we are using in manual accounting? What is the journal? We are let's say transferring money from what in this case 100,000 from current account, Sampath Bank check account to investment account. From one cash account to another cash account or investment account. What is the prime entry book for this? Yeah. Okay, one answer, general journal. Any other answer? Cash. Cash book, another answer. Yes, any other answers? Any other different answers? You got two answers. One is general journal, other is cash book. We are going to transfer money from the current account to investment account. Cash book, yes, because it's a cash only transaction. In the cash book, you can record it, and an investment account will be debited, right? Cash book will be credited. In the cash book, bank column basically will be credited, and investment account will be debited, right? So that cash transfers between bank accounts, right? Transfers between cash and bank accounts are recorded using the function accounts command center transfer money function. මතක තියෙනවා නම් කමක් නැහැ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මතක තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. If you have a high IQ level and I mean very sophisticated brain functioning like Einstein or someone, then you can just remember everything. But an average person like me, I don't usually remember all this technical stuff. Therefore, I write down a note whatever it is. Okay. We are going to record transferring money from one account to another account. Function path is accounts command center transfer money function. Accounts command center transfer money function. Okay. So let me go into that transfer money. So there are actually it doesn't show any double entry debit columns, credit columns, anything. It shows a simple form, right? It shows you a simple form like you are working with the mobile banking app or something, right? Like your digital banking app, right? You have to enter the date. The transaction number, transfer number is given, and then transfer date you have to modify properly. What is the date? On 2nd of April, right? 2nd of April. So April 2nd, 2023. I modified the date of the transfer. Okay. Modify the date of the transfer, April 2nd, 2023. And then you have to specify from which account to which account you are transferring, right? From which account? The Sampath Bank current account. Okay, Sampath Bank check account means the Sampath Bank current account. All right. And then to which account? Transfer money to, okay, transfer money to Sampath Bank investment account. So from this drop down arrow, in front of that there's a drop down arrow. From this drop down arrow, we will select Sampath Bank investment account. Okay. Select the Sampath Bank investment account. Can you see? When you wanted to transfer money from one account to another, in this list, there is a very limited number of accounts appearing, even though they are assets, even though the category is assets, not all the assets appear. It appears only a few accounts. That is why I told you, when you are transferring, or I mean, editing or modifying whatever the cash and bank accounts, the type should be bank. If the type of that account is bank only, they will appear in this list, right? Because it's a transfer between bank accounts, bank or cash, whatever. Both bank and cash accounts should be categorized as bank. When you are creating the accounts, then only it will appear in this list, right? So Sampath Bank investment account, select it, click on that and click the use account, or else you can double click on the account. You have two options, right? Select the account and click on the use account, or you can double click on the Sampath Bank investment account. So that will be added. Then you have to specify the amount. What is the amount? 100,000. 100,000, right? 100,000. Then press the tab key. Again, you can enter a memo, right? You can enter a memo. Money transfer already given. Money transfer to, I'm typing something, to investments account. Money transfer to investments account. Right? Then after the memo, at the bottom of this form, you can see the two accounts, names of the two accounts and their current balance and the balance after the transfer, right? So you can see your current account is having 1.5 million. After the transfer, it will have only 1.4 million. Sampath Bank investment account is currently having zero balance. After the transfer, it will have 100,000. Okay. So that forecasting also you can see that outcome can be seen with those balances. And then again you can press the Control R to recap the transaction. Control R. Because this looks like a simple transaction form. It doesn't look like a double entry, right? Then when you recap the transaction only, you see where the debit and credit entries will be. All right. So here you can see Sampath Bank current account will be credited and Sampath Bank investment account will be debited. Okay. That is how the double entry is shown here. Then you can click OK, and then you can click on the record button. You can record the transaction. Right? Just recorded. If you want to enter any more transactions, you can enter in the same form. Right? Then we will cancel this format. Right. Again, you can go to the transaction journal. Right? Again, you can go to the transaction journal and see under disbursements category, because this is a cash disbursement. The cash disbursement from the current account to the investment. Right? So like that, if these numbers or these transactions will be listed down when you complete this, the 14 weeks, this will be a lengthy list of transactions. Right? Okay, then you can close down, and then again, one thing to notify, go to the accounts and accounts command center account list that you modified here. Go to the account list and see, right, under all accounts, when you go to all accounts category tab, you can see some account balances have changed now, right? When you go to the accounts list and see the accounts list, you can see the account balances have changed, right? Under assets, you can see the total balance 2.7 million, 77 million. And under that, you can see how that is created. You have office furniture and equipment worth of 827,000, and you have storeroom equipment worth of 450,000, right? And you have current asset total worth of 1.5 million, and that is representing 1.4 million in Sampath Bank current account and another 100,000 in Sampath Bank investment account. After these transactions, how my account balances are modified, right? After every transaction, these account balances are properly modified and updated. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show you. Right? I hope that is enough for the day. And you learned the basic stuff of double entry, and now you are trying to enter transactions into the system. Then from next week, we will start the main operation, our buying and selling operation of our business. Continue, right? If you made any mistakes in your accounts list, correct them, right? Because you are keeping your company file with you. Make sure everything is properly modified, and you keep on updating or keep on uploading them to the given drop boxes when I am putting those drop boxes. Right. Okay, right, then take this file with you. As I always tell you, close the company file before taking the file. You have to close the company file, and then from here you can see this is the updated file. So you can upload to your own emails or Dropboxes or whatever it is. I mean, Google Drive or wherever. Then you can download next week and start working. Okay, then with that we can wind up the lecture for today. Thank you very much for joining.